Hey friends, today we're just going to get ready. I'm gonna do like a smoky eye look thing, and we're gonna talk about corporations again. Isn't that fun? It's such a fun topic. Let's start with some foundation first. So I've been thinking a lot about this idea of corporations aren't people for a multitude of reasons. I'm sure you can assume some of it deals with Amazon, but also some of it's been dealing with Disney, and some of it is centered around, I don't know, stuff like Anastasia releasing way too many fucking products all at once without being transparent about why, and then coming up with different reasons, and then seemingly forgetting that she already gave one or two reasons, and just doing things that people aren't happy with. And I will leave a link to two different videos from friends of mine. Or Hannah, Smoky Globe, made a whole video about kind of a lot of the thoughts that everybody's having about ABH right now. Raw Beauty Christie mentioned it in an anti-haul, I think last week, but kind of generally the idea that people aren't happy with Anastasia right now as a company and aren't happy with the decisions that they're making, and people are voicing their opinions about it. And what I've noticed a lot on mostly Twitter is that there's this battle between people who are calling them out for choices that they're not happy with, and then people who are like
vehemently defending
a corporation for no good reason other than the fact that they like the eyeshadow formula and they think Norvina's cool. I'll be the first one to say I love ABH. I own more ABH eyeshadow palettes than any other brand ever. Like I've never owned that many Urban Decay palettes. I've never owned this many eyeshadow palettes. I'm using the Sultry palette today, okay? I love ABH. I love their products. I have no reason to have any sort of like anything against the brand, you know? But what people are doing now is that they're taking like stan culture to the extra level of standing a corporation, standing a business, which is so problematic and weird and scary, because corporations aren't people and they don't deserve the rights that people do. The 14th Amendment doesn't apply to corporations. Song of the Day will address that same topic. So basically, people need to stop defending corporations as if they were just straight up people, because it's not the same thing. Now I need to actually like do makeup. Corporations aren't people. Need to make a jingle. Put some concealer under my eyes. I don't know what I'm gonna do on my eyes today. I think it's just gonna be like a generally smoky look. I think also I have these angry zits on my face. Ignore them. So ABH, I think, is probably the one that is most relevant to everybody within YouTube right now, is that the brand is making choices that people aren't happy with, and people have every right to call them out on it. People have every right to voice their opinion, and that doesn't equal negativity. That is probably the biggest argument that I've seen, and the most bullshit argument that I've seen from so many creators and people on Twitter, is that anytime you question or criticize or call out behavior or choices that you're not happy with from a brand, not just like shitting on products, you know, like it's one thing to like say that a eyeshadow palette sucks, but it's another thing to be like, hey, these are questionable practices that you're doing that doesn't match what you've been doing as a company for the last, I don't know, 7 years. Like it doesn't line up. It doesn't add up. And so people are calling stuff out, and the people who seem to not be happy with that are calling it
negativity.
Criticism does not equal negativity. Criticism does not equal hate. I feel like I am borrowing what every commentary channel has said about Lily Singh in the last week, because fucking A, Lily Singh needs to grow up. That's a whole nother thing. But the idea that calling out companies and calling out corporations and being critical is negativity is inherently dangerous because that just leads to complacency and it leads to, I don't know, just generally shitty activities letting just fall by the wayside. Like, people are just able to do whatever they want. Corrected. Corporations are allowed to do whatever they want because nobody wants to be negative because of, I don't know, people's feelings or whatever. I don't fucking know. That's one criticism I've gotten on anti-hauls, and it's a criticism that I've seen thrown at friends of mine and creators that I watch, and it's like, no, it's not being negative, it's being critical. There's a difference. You're an adult, use a thesaurus. But I didn't want to spend this entire video talking about ABH. In fact, out of the 3 companies that I wanted to talk about, and out of the 3 recent happenings that I wanted to talk about, that was the least important in my mind because everybody else has talked about it. Let me put on some primer, yeah. While I do this, did y'all hear what Disney did recently? Swear to God. This was a topic that I addressed briefly in my responding to y'all's unpopular opinions, and I don't want anybody to think that me saying that standing Disney as an adult was me saying that, like, adults can't like Disney. No, you can like Disney, but, like, just absorbing everything that the company does and not questioning anything that they do, that's the problem.
So Frozen sucks.
I touched on it in that video where I was talking about how Disney is such a huge corporation, especially over the last 10 years when they acquired Marvel and Lucasfilm and all of Avengers and Star Wars as intellectual properties. It grew to a size that I never would have imagined, and Disney already was a huge portion of the entire entertainment market. But something I read yesterday, startled me, and I'm not happy about it. Disney apparently took in 40% of all box office in the US last year. And if they would have accounted for the Fox releases, because now Disney owns 20th Century Fox. They now own the intellectual property of the film division of 20th Century Fox. If that would have all been accounted for, they would have had 50% of the entertainment market last year. That's too much for one company. That's too much for one central corporation, and that's too much power for any corporation, regardless of industry. Because that's when you get to a monopoly, okay? Monopolies are bad, as actually the game wasn't even fun growing up. So I rebuke my statement that I was going to make about how, like, as fun as Monopoly is, Monopoly isn't fun. Disney purchased 20th Century Fox, the film division, last year. And now they have control of a lot of classic 20th Century Fox films. Home Alone, Raising Arizona, all of these films that I grew up watching. Just, like, so many movies from the early 90s and 80s, those were 20th Century Fox films. You can see the opening sequence in your head. I can see it. You know what it looks like. It's iconic, okay? So Disney owns those now. And I saw an article on Vulture. I will leave a link to it in the description below because
I read it and I
wanted to punch a hole through my wall. Disney is quickly becoming the Amazon of the entertainment industry. I'm gonna take Birch. Disney has been quietly being the operative term, putting classic 20th Century Fox films in the Disney vault, which means you can't print it until they bring it out of the vault, which was some manufactured hype around Fantasia. They bring it out of the Disney vault to, I don't know, re-release it or whatever, which Disney never released it in the first place. They shouldn't take the credit. So all these films are being put in the vault and essentially inaccessible to anybody but Disney. And that means, what the article focuses on, it means that these repertory theaters around the country who tend to show, like, more art house films, tend to show more indie films. They do film festivals. They're sometimes volunteer run. I can think of, like, 3 off the top of my head in Seattle and Tacoma that I have been to, that I've supported in the past. Repertory theaters need to still exist. So these theaters who play these smaller films that don't bring in nearly as much money because they're not as popular, they're not the blockbusters in 12 theaters. These repertory theaters balance the money that they don't make off these indie films by doing showings of old films around Christmas, around the holidays. Just, they'll throw in an old 90s Fox movie, an old 90s film in with their lineup, and people will be like, oh, I want to go see this. And it kind of brings people in a way that's accessible, in a way that's familiar, because who doesn't like going to see some of your favorite movies from like your early childhood in a theater again? That's bomb. That's so fun. So they've been quietly putting these movies in the vault and making them inaccessible to repertory theaters. Some theaters have had their licenses revoked after having permission to air them, and it's been denied. And so now all these films are not able to be shown anywhere. And when I'm sure why, besides the fact that they can like arbitrarily put them in the vault and be like, oh, that's gonna like be a special release of Home Alone 2 30 years later, they're gonna put it on the Disney Plus streaming service. And speaking of, I saw an article where it was like, it said if one were to subscribe to all of the major streaming services, you would pay $104 a month. And that's including Disney Plus, Apple TV, so-and-so, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, all of the above. And Disney is taking this content to keep for themselves for their own streaming service. And I'm already dreading it because I know that so much content on Netflix is going to disappear as soon as Disney Plus launches, because that is so much content. Think of all the Marvel movies, all of the Marvel originals, all of Star Wars, all of the Disney films, just Disney animated films, Disney live action films, all of these films that you can see on Netflix right now will no longer be able to be, because Disney is taking it for themselves, even though the Marvel original series they made with Netflix, oh, makes me so fucking angry. Like, I'm not gonna lie, two things I can think of that I'm excited about for the Disney Plus streaming service. I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm not about to buy it. Maybe I'll do a free trial, watch all the Disney Channel original movies I want, and then just don't pay for it. But Disney Channel original movies, and Lizzie McGuire is getting a reboot as like an adult in New York City. And that is the only thing that I'm excited for. That's the only thing that I want to watch, except for all the things that they're taking off of Netflix. So it's frustrating being critical of a company that's like doing so much shady shit, but like they're essentially gatekeepers to all of this entertainment, which is not how entertainment should be. Like, you should be able to access things in a way that's not jumping through like 8 million hoops. The problem is DVD players aren't really a thing. Blu-ray players aren't really a thing much anymore. Like, you won't even be able to buy it. It's just the craziest thing that Netflix, or that Disney, why do I keep saying Netflix? It's just the craziest thing that Disney's doing right now, and it's
problematic.
It's a word that we all like to use. It's like, I was already pissed at Disney for so many things, but now, yeesh. I'm gonna do dystopian. Oh god, it's dark brown. Oh shit. Okay. So, Disney, right? They're a huge corporation. They need to be kept in check. They need to be questioned and criticized and monitored and not just do whatever the hell they want. Just like I talked about in my... Was it in my stand culture? I've talked about this multiple times. The only way that corporations do better is being held accountable for when they do bad things. That's the only way, because unless somebody calls them out or somebody reports them or something's illegal, unless somebody says, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, they're just gonna keep doing the shitty things until they can no longer get away with it, Because if they're the biggest company in an industry, if they are leading the market in so many ways, they don't have to do better to win. So I haven't seen nearly as much people defend Disney in the same way I've seen people defend makeup brands. I think because people are starting to realize that Disney is being like super fucking predatory, and they're not a person. They don't need your... It's not that they don't need your support. They don't need your support, but they don't need you to back them up. And it's that shit that annoys the shit out of me, because it's like, why are you going to bat for a corporation, for a multi-million, sometimes multi-billion dollar corporation that couldn't give less of a shit about you? So then why are you dying on the hill of defending a corporation? Corporations aren't people. They don't need your help. I'm gonna do the other eye now. Isn't that fun? Let's just hang out and commiserate about the economy. That's the cool, what the cool kids do. Oh, what are you doing on Friday?
I'm commiserating about the economy.
Oh, I do want to let you guys know, the lovely owner of Co-op of Creation saw my video where I was talking about her candles, and apparently her kids watch my channel. Hi! And she has been gracious enough to provide you guys a code to use if you want to buy candles from her. I believe it is Abby October, and you get 15% off. I don't get anything. It's just like a nice thing that she wanted to do as a thank you. So you guys go check it out. She's got some cool candles. That was super nice. I was like, what? It was just like the weirdest message on Instagram. I was like, wait, that's a small fucking world moment. The fact that her kids watched my videos, I was like, oh, hi. I really hope that your kids aren't too young because I swear a lot. So yeah, check out her candles. They are gorgeous. I feel like I've been applying this brown for fucking ever.
Okay.
Yes, now I need to... Do I want to put on any black? I'm digging like dark eyes lately. I need some shimmer, like right in the middle. I'm gonna take teak, which is like the darkest brown, and like just a little bit in the middle of the eye. Cool. It's kind of fun. Yeah. So moving on from Disney. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about Amazon, and I've made an entire video dedicated to why I don't shop on Amazon, and you know, and it's one of those things that I have to see every day because I work in an office that a lot of people work in, and literally we get Amazon shipments every single day. While I get why people still use it, like obviously some people should use it, like people who have mobility issues and disabilities, like use Amazon because it's convenient and accessible. The one thing is the people who don't have any of those restrictions and still use it to the point where like whenever I say anything negative about it, they like scoff. And I'm like, why? Like, are you just mad because I'm calling out a company for shitty business practices? Are you just mad that I'm like making you feel guilty about what you do all the time? Sure, fine, be mad about it, but don't make me feel bad about it. Amazon, Disney, biggest offenders as far as I'm concerned when it comes to just being unchecked, because how people consume it. People consume Disney content and it's fun. It's like people have a good time watching movies and watching TV shows and playing games and dressing up. People like Disney. And people like getting their packages shipped quickly. And because of that, anytime somebody makes a point that questions their own feelings about a company, people lash out a little bit. It's like, you wouldn't be so defensive if you didn't feel a little bit guilty right now. So it just brought me back more and more to like stan culture. It's like, it's one thing to cut a person some slack and give a person the benefit of the doubt. But it's another thing to hold a corporation to that same standard when they should be held to a higher standard because they are not one single person. They are hundreds, thousands of people. People who stan corporations.
Stop that.
Like, stop it. Corporations aren't people, and they don't deserve to be treated like people because they don't treat people with respect a lot of the times, and they shouldn't have nearly as much power as they have, and they need to be called out on their shit. Eyeliner, need eyeliner. Another video, guys, I think you guys should watch is a friend of mine, Lacey from Spooky Lips and Fat Hips. She uploaded a video yesterday, beat me to the punch on cancel culture and kind of touching a little bit on what I'm talking about of like use your energy in a way that can be a good use of your time to where you can actually change something and call out somebody that has power. Like cancel culture, which really is kind of a made up term anyway. Cancel culture, call out culture, if you will, should be applied more to businesses and to corporations and to companies, not to individuals, because individuals can make mistakes and individuals do deserve a chance to change and do deserve a chance to apologize. Corporations, depending on how much harm they do, they don't need your support. They don't need your patronage, you know? Like, they're just fine. To die on the hill of defending a company like Disney or like ABH, they're not in the same league as far as like shitty business practices, but for the sake of what I'm talking about, to die on the hill of standing a company, maybe use your energy elsewhere, okay? It's not helpful. You're just muddying the waters even more of how people treat people versus corporations, because like I said a million times, corporations are people, and the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to corporations. Yeah, I will literally make a jingle out of it, and you guys will remember it, and you will be able to recite it, and if I see any of you ever in public, in person, I will expect people to sing it right back to me.
Corporations are people.
I'm taking my CoverFX Warm Honey Blush. Hello, are you surprised? Basically all I'm saying. Basically the moral of this is, don't stan anybody, truly, but also don't stan a corporation, because then you're not actually like holding them accountable to their mistakes, and you're not actually gonna like call them out when they do something remotely wrong, and it's our duty to do that. You know, it's our responsibility as citizens of this country and of this world to tell a company when they're doing something wrong. That doesn't mean just like complaining to the manager of a franchise of a McDonald's. It means, I don't know, not voting for the people that huge corporation is trying to buy in city council, you know? Like what Amazon's doing right now. Amazon is literally trying to buy city council and trying to knock Kshama Sawant out of her seat, because Kshama Sawant is a democratic socialist, and that scares the shit out of Amazon, and she's the only one who's been like vehemently vocal about shit. She's the one who got the $15 minimum wage, and corporations hate her. So the biggest one in the world is trying to unseat her from the Seattle City Council, because she's the only one who's gonna like have the guts to do anything about it. And she's definitely not taking any money from it. And that was like Bernie Sanders actually shared a story, like the story about that, about how the fact that Amazon donated over $1 million to a PAC. He was like, yeah, no, don't vote for those people. Like, don't let Amazon be in the pockets of your city council, because the city council members' constituents are the people that live in the city of Seattle. The council members' constituency is not Jeff Bezos and co. So they shouldn't be the ones paying for city council, okay? That ain't okay, and that is something that I will not shut up about until I don't have to talk about it anymore, you know? It's just, it's so maddening, like, so maddening. And it sucks, because, like, I have a few friends that work for Amazon in the offices, and I never, ever want anybody to think that when I shit on a corporation, when I talk badly, or I criticize, you know, Amazon or Disney or ABH, I am by no means talking about the individual people that work in the offices, that do jobs day to day, that work in copy, that work in the warehouses, that work for the company. It's the folks at the top that are making the choices and ruining it for everybody. It's not the people that I know who work for these companies. So if you happen to work for any of these companies or happen to know somebody, don't make them feel bad. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to let people know that these corporations are not perfect, and they shouldn't be treated as such, and they shouldn't be treated as
people.
I'm gonna do Pearl. Let's see if this works. I'm wearing fake nails again today. I put on pointy ones. Heyo. Okay, so I have Pearl. I should just use my ring finger. My pinky does not work. My lovely dear friend Georgia Harris gave me these earrings and this necklace. Thanks, Georgia. These are from Open the Cellar Door, by the way. She bought them for herself, and then she was like, hey, I never wear these. Do you want them? I'm like, yes, I will gladly accept these earrings that I've actually kind of always wanted to get, but just never took the plunge. I don't know if I'm gonna spray my face, because who knows how I'm gonna keep this on for how long. I'm gonna put on Bikini Bottom, though. Not Bikini Bottoms. Bikini Bottom from the Safiya line. Seriously, it's such a perfect nude. God, such a good nude.
Such a good nude.
Yeah. All right. This is the look I wanted to do tonight because it's Oh God, is it already that late? Oh no, never mind. That clock is wrong. This is all I wanted to do. I didn't want to do something too intense, just like kind of a smoky brown eye, because I had somebody mention like, ooh, you should do that look. Can I get ready with me? And I was like, okay, I'll do that. I do like doing get ready with me's. Don't get me wrong. I love doing get ready with me's. Tutorials, on the other hand, not as much. But did this video make sense? I hope so. I hope it made sense. My glasses are very schmutzy. The moral of this video really is just don't treat corporations as people. And I know that it gets to be kind of a gray area these days when brand owners are people on social media. Somebody like Norvina, she's not the brand owner, but she's like the creative director. And it gets complicated when you like know the personality of the person that's in charge of these choices. Once they get to that point that they are like running a company or a head or the face of a company, they should be treated like a company. I feel like you need to hold companies accountable. It's not just an individual anymore. It's a brand. And brands are not perfect, and brands don't care about you. That's the biggest thing. The biggest difference between people and corporations is that corporations don't have feelings and they don't have empathy and they don't care about you. So don't care about them so much to the point where you're making yourself look like a fool, arguing with other people on the internet, because they wouldn't reciprocate it for you. It shouldn't be that hard. Stop defending shit that doesn't deserve to get defended. And that includes giant corporation, okay? Disney, Amazon, they don't need your fucking help. They don't need you going to bat for them in the comments on a BuzzFeed article or in a Twitter thread. Stop. So, I hope this video made sense. It's very late, so I don't know how much sense it made. I'm sure it made sense. I'm just gonna have to edit it down. For today's song of the day, we have Despise Us by Leches, and they're a local band, and I've actually been working on an episode of my show with them, and they have the song called Despise Us that's very pointedly about corporations fighting against the city of Seattle and the $15 minimum wage because they thought it was gonna ruin business, and they wanted to use the 14th Amendment, which was saved for people, not corporations. It's a great song. It's super cool, and there's like a theremin and a saxophone, and I dig it, you know? And it's critical of corporations, and I love that. It's what punk music should be, you know? I hope you like this look. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. This is kind of just like a go-to smoky eye for me. I don't tend to do like black smoky eyes. I'll do browns and reds and stuff like that, like warmer shades, because my eyes are green and I feel like these complement my eyes a lot better than black and grays. It's simple. It was like 3 shadows. Nothing too laborious, you know. I should go because it's late. Now it's officially almost 1 a.m. Am I gonna film another video? I don't fucking know. Probably not. Please keep the comments civil. Anybody who acts too much of a fool, I will hide you into the abyss of the comment section and you will never know. Definitely check out the article on Vulture about Disney putting shit into the vault. Check out the videos I have in cards. I have Lacey's video, Hannah's video, the Leches song, all kinds of links for you to click on to find out more about what you can do to stop corporations from being bad for everyone. I was gonna say bad people, but they're not people. Well, I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks to my patrons. Y'all are great. I'm super close to 36K, which is awesome. So you guys should subscribe if you haven't and you're just coming to my channel and you like my vibe. You know. Again, leave me suggestions for merch because I love the suggestions you guys gave me last time. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. I want to see if there's any like repeats of things where people like multiple people want the same thing, but I think socks are gonna happen. I just don't know what they're gonna look like yet. But I love socks so much that I like the idea of putting out my own socks. I love that. God, it would be like full circle. I get socks for Christmas and then like you guys could get my socks for Christmas? That'd be really cool. Okay, I'm gonna go come up with the design for socks and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.